But I am not surprised to hear, you won't be either, that the subject of by far the most emails of the day so far, Junior, I'll give you an example, let you respond. Pop it up here. It says, Dave, I'm hoping you can explain the difference, other than the spelling of their names, between the penalty assessment on Saturday to the 38 and the wink and subsequent free pass today for the 88, says Dwight in Wichita, Kansas. The 38, of course, in the nationwide race, Jason Leffler parked 5 laps for that touch on Stephen Wallace. Junior today colliding, of course, with the 83 car and walked. Your opinion? Darrell.
Oh, you talking to me? I thought you were still reading emails. I'm sorry. No, my opinion is this, Dave. I think that Junior was upset about what happened in the pits, not just the penalty for and going a lap down. I mean, for goodness sakes, the officials stand there telling him to push the car back, and one of the team members just pushes him out of the way. So none of those guys seem to be on the game today. Junior slid through his pit a couple of times in the Bud shootout. He had missed his pit today. He got penalized in the pit today. So lots and lots of problems in the pit. I believe he became very, very frustrated. He's a lap down. He knows it's going to rain. He's got to get that lap back. I agree. He had a head of steam on Vickers, but Vickers didn't do anything that anybody else hadn't done down here for 10 days. He pulled over in front of Junior. I think the telltale, you know I'm a Dale Jr. fan. I love the guy. Yep. I've known him his whole life. But the telltale to me was how abruptly he turned back into Vickers. If he had just let Vickers get up ahead of him and fallen back in behind him, we wouldn't have had that big wreck. So I know Junior was upset, and I know he was like a raging bull. He was trying to get that lap back, and Vickers kind of added a little bit more aggravation to his already aggravating situation, and I just believe he made a bad judgment. I really do.
I wonder if they each were aware that the other was the competition for the lucky dog, because I think that was a big part of that. Who knew and who didn't, and I don't know that we'll ever know, but the fact is they were racing for the lucky dog, and that's a big deal.
Well, it really is, and particularly when you know it's going to rain. I mean, I think the worst things these crew chiefs did, and the spotters too, is start telling the drivers, hey, get going, it's going to rain, we got to pick up the pace. So I'm sure that there are all kind of factors involved in that whole situation. The bottom line is, David, could have been avoided. Yeah. That should have never happened. Those cars should have never gotten wrecked. It could have been avoided. And and you can look at it a million different ways, like I've said all the time. There's 3 sides to every story. There's Dale Jr.'s, there's Brian Vickers, and there's NASCAR's.
Yep, and the one that matters is NASCAR's, because they're the ones who decide. I need a commercial break. We'll do that. I'm sure we'll hear from the fans on the phone about this before the hour is out. Let's go to the phones. I've got Gary on the line from Valdosta, Georgia. Gary, welcome to the show. What's on your mind tonight?
Yes, sir. Hey, Carol, I love you, and I love you too, Dave. Look, I want to know why Junior caused a wreck, and not you, Mike, Larry Mack. None of you said, just like, that was uncalled for, but you never called Junior out for it.
Hey, whoa. You must have watched a different show than I did. That was my first reaction was, hey, those boys all 3 called Junior out.
Well, okay, let me put why didn't AJ go out and push Elliott Sadler at the end of the race? Because if he did, if it wasn't for Elliott, he'd never gotten the race in the first place.
A different subject entirely.
But let me just say this: if it wasn't for Elliott, AJ would be driving that car. So there's maybe a little animosity on that team amongst those 2 guys. But hey, let's face it, they finished 3rd and 5th. That's not a bad day for 2 guys that didn't help each other.
And Allmendinger doesn't have a whole lot of experience running up the front in restrictor plate races. Never mind the Daytona 500. I expect he's pretty happy with what he did tonight. I want to go back to this.
He just wanted to win a race, for heaven's sake.
Yeah. I want to go back to this Junior thing. It was pretty obvious to me that the booth, the Fox booth, all felt on the first go-around that was clearly Junior's fault, and you said so. After the interviews and the replays, I felt you guys softened a little bit in your opinion. Did your mind change a little bit once you saw all the different angles? Because I'll confess to you, mine did. I thought initially the same as you. The more I watched it, the more I thought, man, maybe he's just trying to get back up on the racetrack.
Yeah, and maybe if it hadn't been wet, it's been raining here. Maybe he got off the track a little further than he meant to. I don't know. There's a lot of maybes in that situation, and that's what we saw second time around. First time around, we saw the same thing everybody else did. We saw Junior whack him, and we thought, well, that was uncalled for. That was just not. That was unnecessary. That's what we said. Replay after replay after replay. It's like watching any other wreck. You say, well, maybe this, maybe that. Maybe Junior was just trying to get back in behind him and clipped him. Maybe Jason Leffler was doing the same thing yesterday in the nationwide race, but NASCAR elected to park him for 5 laps. So maybe that inconsistency, maybe the fact that we all the problems that Junior had in the pits, we kind of saw all that building. Maybe all those circumstances made us feel like that was maybe more Junior's fault than it was Brian Vickers.
I'll tell you, Junior was off his game at Daytona. I mean, missing his pit, couldn't find his pit, ran over the line. I mean, it just wasn't Junior's Daytona.